Today on Power ng Pinoy, we'll talk to a few Filipino entrepreneurs and how they built their own empire. One climbed the corporate ladder and eventually created her own company, while a husband and wife team opened various businesses including a laboratory, a residential facility, and a restaurant. They are Cora Tellez and Art and Yolly Pamintuan. Filipino pride living their American dream, with today's host, Anthony Rivero.
Hi, ako po si Anthony Rivero and welcome to another episode of Power ng Pinoy. Today, we bring you two stories of inspiring Filipino entrepreneurs. The husband and wife team of Yolly and Art Pamintuan, who are based in Cerritos, California, and Cora Tellez of San Francisco, California. Their stories take us on another inspiring journey about achieving one's dreams. They've all have experienced failures, and yet they never gave up. They never let these bumps on the road get in the way of their aspirations. In this first segment, we'd like to bring to you the story of Yolly and Art. This couple is just like any other ordinary couple until isang araw, they decided to take action and pursue their dream of owning their own company. Now, they're proud owners of a number of businesses in the healthcare and food retail industry. Let's hear their story.
Art and Yolly Pamintuan, a Filipino-American couple, show how hard work, teamwork, and dedication can bring you a long way. Art and Yolly, who both came from Pampanga and later transferred to America, are now two successful individuals in the field of business. They shared their own personal backgrounds.
We came from Pampanga. Me from Angeles City and Yolly from Guagua, Pampanga. I graduated from University of Santo Tomas, Manila, and we came here in the States in 1977. I was working as an accounting clerk.
I'm a clinical scientist by profession. I graduated also in the University of Santo Tomas in Manila.
My mom was a businesswoman in the Philippines. My dad is a chemist. He was a retired federal employee. He worked for them for like 35 years. And that is the reason why we came here in the States, because of my dad being a federal employee.
My parents, they were business people in the Philippines. My mom and his mom met and they exchanged numbers. So a few days later, Art called me and we met and we started dating in 1983, and we got married in 1985.
We have two kids. Our eldest is Mart. He's an accountant. Our youngest is Alan Joseph. We call him AJ. He's 21. Both are working and helping us out in our businesses.
In 1998, they got interested in clinical lab science and opened up their own blood test laboratory.
In 1998, we decided to venture into this business, but I was working then as a clinical lab scientist.
We never really planned it, to be honest about it. We were approached by a friend of Yolly and,
Yes.
We kind of got interested and we said, why don't we try it?
So what I was doing was on my break time, I would come here and do my lab tests and do all my results during my break time, and then go back to my full-time job because we just started and I was the only lab scientist at that time.
But opening up their own blood test laboratory was not an easy thing to accomplish. Much time, money, and effort was needed before they were able to accomplish where they are now.
Opening a reference laboratory is really a tough one. You have to, first of all, set up all your instruments, all your tests that you want to offer to your clients. And once all of that are validated, you need to be certified by the Department of Health. So they come and inspect the laboratory to make sure that your quality control, all your validations are completed and done before you could even run a test.
But the hard work didn't stop once they were able to put up the laboratory. Putting up the laboratory was one thing, but getting the clients and keeping these clients was another.
The first 6 months or a year was very rough. You have to look for clients. I end up actually leaving my job and essentially running the sales aspect and the accounting aspect of the business, and Yolly did the technical side. I didn't have time to be scared because
we're in
it,
this,
and all our money or all our life savings are
invested
in the business. And including my mom, my brother, my sisters, my friends. I tell you, we borrowed money left and right. I was a sales rep for a shipping company back in the early 80s. So talking to people comes easy to me. But at the end of the day, you know, you have to have that personality, meaning you have to have that guts to do cold calls, meaning approach a doctor who doesn't even know you and say, you know, we have a laboratory, can we provide the service, the lab work. In sales, they always say it's a number game. If you talk to 200 people and then you bring in 5 clients, man, you're doing excellent.
We've kept good relationships with our clients because we give them personal service. These clients that we've had for the last 10 years have always been there with us, so we just keep these clients. It's not easy, but we help each other, of course, with everything that we do.
Art and Yolly bought their first facility for the mentally handicapped in San Pedro 9 years ago. With this facility, the couple was able to help a lot of Filipinos by giving them jobs at this facility.
We've been very fortunate because of the fact that we have managers and people that work for us over there that have been very, very good, hardworking. So it's been good to us.
We opened another one in Los Angeles. It's a 210 facility, for the elderly.
But the couple did not stop here. They ventured in other businesses, which was their very own restaurant. They named it Noy Pits.
2 years ago, we opened up a restaurant in Glendale. The name of the restaurant is Noy Pits. We're very proud of the fact that when we opened up this restaurant, a lot of people were very skeptical that we will fail because of the economy. 6 months later, the restaurant is booming. We're very proud of the fact that it's a busy restaurant. We provide entertainment to our community here in Southern California. I'd like to think that we are successful, but it's an everyday battle for us. It's work every day. It's a challenge.
When Power ng Pinoy returns,
I've made a lot of mistakes in business, and I know I'll keep on making them.
When you give back, you get more blessings in return.
but despite their success, Art and Yolly remain humble and continue to treat their employees as family.
Years ago, before we went into a business of our own, obviously my dream was to own my own business. So I'll be my own boss, where I could say, I don't have to make pakisama because I'm the boss. But years later, I found out that if you own your own business, you have to do more pakisama because you have to get the most out of your people, and of course, yung respeto nila. I've never treated any of my employees as just strictly an employee.
Yes.
I look at them as family.
It is their support and love for their employees that has kept their employees loyal to them for all these years.
Mabait sa mga empleyado. At saka hindi siya nagbabantay. Basta ginagawa yung trabaho, Wala kang marinig sa kanya. Anything na kailangan mo, tulong, laging nandyan siya.
Every time na humihingi ako ng tulong, binibigay nila. Hindi nila ako hinihindian. Kaya tumagal ako dito sa company. Pag may problema ako, punta sa hospital yung mister ko, they let me go. Mabait sila sa akin. Kaya tumagal ako rito ng 12 years.
I've been working for 12 years in this laboratory. I really enjoy working with them, and they're already my family and very supportive.
Tita Yolly and Tito Art have been very supportive of me. Ever since I started here way back 2007, they've supported my work and they've supported my dreams here. And I don't have a family here in America, so I've been living here alone, and they've been a second family to me.
From day one, I have my kids, Mark and Alan, from the day that they're able to do something for the business, we got them involved. It's a plan that I hope by the time it's time for me to sit back and relax and retire, that they'll be running the business. Whenever you have a chance, whenever a group approach you, and it's for a worthy cost, so we try to accommodate people that approach us to do this type of yung service. We don't charge anything. What we do is we do the test and we provide it for free.
When you give back, you get more blessings in return, because it's really important na you help out your co-Filipinos, yung mga kababayan mo, not just them but even other cultures. And then I know the blessings that comes back to you is 100-fold times.
Art and Yolly have always been dreamers, and when they dream big. This is what pushed them to work harder, and in the end, made them successful businessmen.
I've always dreamed big, and that keeps you going. That keeps you going, certainly. That keeps you motivated. You never stop dreaming.
People should never give up, and I think it's the perseverance, hard work, and honesty that will make a person successful in life.
I've made a lot of mistakes in business, and I know I will keep on making them. But the fact that I will never give up, I will learn from those mistakes and move forward.
Yan ang power ng Pinoy.
Who was the first U.S. president who had a state visit in the Philippines? Know more about the Philippines, its culture and history when Power ng Pinoy returns.
Power ng Pinoy is looking for producers or correspondents from various parts of the US and Canada. Please submit your resume and sample scripts to jobs@powernangpinoy.tv. Join Power ng Pinoy and our Filipino greatness.
President Dwight D. Eisenhower is the first U.S. president who mounted a state visit to the Philippines on June 14 to 16, 1960. Philippine President Carlos P. Garcia warmly welcomed the U.S. president during his visit to the country. Eisenhower is the 34th president of the United States of America and had served as president from 1953 to 1961. It's more fun getting to know sari-saring stories about the Philippines right here on Power ng Pinoy.
The sweet and soft-spoken Cora Tellez is a shining example of a Filipino's bold, entrepreneurial mind and generous heart. She is an extraordinary woman who has achieved tremendous success in all that she has set out to do, and who shares her success with others. Here is Cora Tellez.
I grew up in the barrio of San Dionisio, very, very poor. The houses were very dense. There was one television in the entire community. The men fished for a living, the women stayed home and embroidered. That's how I remembered it. My father worked in Guam and would come home only every other year. So it was really left up to my mom to take care of us. So you can imagine 2 boys, 3 girls, and they were struggling very hard. Mother had all kinds of jobs. She was selling jewelry. She was helping her brother, who was a fisherman. We come from a long and undistinguished line of peasants. That's what I tell my children, and we're very proud of it.
One could say that her father was one of the first OFWs. After years of working in Guam, he opted to move to the US and eventually brought his family over as immigrants.
I came to the United States at age 11 with my mom and my younger sister Marina. My father had immigrated from Guam, and like other Filipino immigrant stories, he came to the United States with no job. I remember it very vividly. I remember coming to the United States. I remember crying a lot. I wasn't certain exactly what would happen to us. My mother depicted it as a really great thing because we get to be reunited with my father.
Pinoy na Pinoy, and coming from simple and almost rustic circumstances, it must have been intimidating for a child suddenly thrust into an American way of life. But even back then as a child, she already showed how fearless she was.
I struggled to be as fluent in English. I could understand English incredibly well, but I wasn't fluent. And then I just simply said, Cora, you're not going to get anywhere if you don't try. And so I, took courage in hand, befriended young girls, and they were very kind to me. My teachers also were kind, and so that began my step in acculturating to the United States.
It was in college where Cora discovered her innovative, out-of-the-box thinking. She took her bachelor's degree in Mills College, where she was a member of the Phi Beta Kappa. Then she pursued her master's in public administration at California State University.
I majored in a program that I made up for myself. My major was the political modernization of Southeast Asian countries, because I had this great view that I was going to go back to the Philippines, work there, and make my career there.
Cora Tellez proved what a positive and unstoppable force she was in carving a successful career.
My professional background is in healthcare insurance. I've spent 25 years of my corporate life running various companies. First with Kaiser Permanente, where I spent 16 years. I was then recruited to run the CEO of Blue Shield of California's Northern Division, and then was recruited to be the president of Prudential Healthcare for the Western U.S. I was then recruited to be the CEO of HealthNet of California.
And yet, despite rising to the top of the corporate ladder, and instead of resting her own laurels, Cora Tellez dared to start over and challenge herself anew. And it's not surprising that those who knew her, her family and friends, believed in her and that she can succeed.
What happened was that in 2002, I thought, I want to try something else. I left corporate America thinking I may retire. About this time, I was looking at what I could be doing. What if I started my own? What would that be like? So HSAs, health savings accounts, were being debated in Congress in 2003. They passed the bill in December 2004. I organized my company and we were set for business in February 2004. So Sterling HSA was born then out of a strong desire on my part to do a couple of things. One, because I really believe my company could add value, could help people, so that was important to me. Two, selfishly, I wanted to try my hand at being an entrepreneur. There were fits and starts, there were things that were great achievements, and there were just massive failures. Among my massive failure was that I couldn't raise money. I just go, ang hirap-hirap pala. So Sterling has been funded by 3 Fs, the 3 Fs. Family, friends, and fools. You know, fools, the people who were silly enough to invest in this high-risk venture. But Sterling is mostly funded by my family.
Most people would give up if an idea didn't succeed in the first year. But Cora Tellez is not most people. Dapat siguro ang theme song niya, Don't Stop Believing. It took her 9 years to make her company, Sterling HSA Incorporated, a success.
Health savings accounts are tax advantage accounts that people use to pay for healthcare services. And now we have $109 million of assets under management.
After decades of being an employee, it must feel different owning and running your own company. The work is harder and more demanding, but the sense of achievement, no doubt, is very likely deeper and more rewarding.
I work hard. I've always worked hard all my life. But I didn't realize that when you're an entrepreneur, it's a 24-hour calling. It never stops. Even now, 9 years later, I still think about my company, where it should go, what I should be doing right. I kick myself for all the things I should have done better. The lessons Mother taught me continue for me. Be prepared, love what you're doing, because it comes through in your voice, in your face, that this is something that you think would create value for that person.
We'll learn more about Cora after the break.
My life is about giving back. And I really believe in that adage, if you've been given a lot, you got to give back more.
Cora Tellez would have been satisfied and stayed put in her top corporate position and retired. But this petite powerhouse is never satisfied with just staying put and resting on her laurels. Just as she created on her own major in college, not only did she establish her own company, Sterling HSA, and succeeded, she also created her own unique program that embodies the Filipino community spirit.
Health savings accounts are like a medical IRA. So these are tax advantage accounts that people put money in on a pre-tax basis sometimes, or if you put money in after tax, you could deduct all of that from your taxes. Earnings grow tax-free, and any distributions from it are tax-free also, provided you use it for a qualified expense. The great thing about it is it's not a use it or lose it fund. So whatever you don't spend carries over year after year after year. It's really intended to have money for you to pay for health care now and in the future. The one great thing about health savings accounts is that the health savings account money could be used to pay for medical care anywhere in the world. So we have clients, Filipino clients, who go to the Philippines and they get medical care there, including prescription medications. Those can also be reimbursed out of their health savings accounts. See, that's the great thing about it.
Her insight into the Pinoy mind and heart is amazing, and it is best seen in her company's Regalo program.
I started with this program, the Regalo program. And the intent here is for the donor in the United States to set aside funds for Filipino relatives or friends. And they would designate how that money is to be used. I'm an example. My family and I, my siblings and I, set up 4 Regalo accounts. We have relatives in the Philippines and we're worried about them and their health care. They're also older, and we want to make certain that their caregiver will use this money appropriately. So we've set up these accounts, and as our relative incurs an expense, a doctor's visit, drugs, para sa gamot, whatever, they would send the receipt to Sterling. Sterling would then send me a note and say, Cora, look at this receipt. Would you like us to pay this receipt out of the funds you've set aside? Kung sinabi ko, oo, then the money gets sent to my relatives or to any relative. So here's what happens now. The donor, me, I have assurance that this money I have set aside is going exactly for that purpose. What I'm trying very hard to do here is to fight donor fatigue. The sense that Filipinos in the United States have been burned by relatives and friends because they spent this money in ways that just don't make sense to them. So I said, there's got to be a different way, and our Regalo program is an attempt to do that. We hope it will succeed, and we hope that Filipinos will see great value in it.
Cora is a great example of a no guts, no glory kind of person. Did she ever doubt that she could make a go of her own company?
I think it's really tough to start a company, but that doesn't mean that should keep you from doing it. If you don't ask yourself, what could you do if you were not afraid of the outcome? You'd be amazed. Filipinos, thank God, are social animals. We've got family, we've got friends. Use them. No one person does it himself or herself. You need help from all kinds of people.
So what motivates Cora and makes her fearless?
So there are 2 sayings in my family that we've taught our sons. One is, in our family, dreams are free. The second very big lesson is, if you don't ask, the answer is no. Have courage and try, because if you don't try, the answer will always be no. But if you try, there's a chance the answer could be yes. And if the answer is no, you're in the same place where you are now.
She has achieved more in her life than an average person in one lifetime. How does she make the most of the life that she has?
My life is about giving back. I'm happy to tell you that I'm one of the founding mothers of Filipinos for Affirmative Action and Asian Community Mental Health. So I've also been a board member of Philippine International Aid. And to this day, I have 7 children I sponsor. I'm very proud of them, humbled by what they're able to accomplish despite enormous hardships, sacrifices that would bring me to my knees. And yet these young people, they are doing so well. I met them in the Philippines last year, and I promised all of them, 7 of them, that if they could finish high school, I would pay for their college education. God, I hope they take me up on it, because that would make such a big difference. You know, I've been blessed in so many ways. I'm so fortunate. I've been given a great deal. And I really believe in that adage, if you've been given a lot, you got to give back more.
At yan po ang mga kwento ng mag-asawang Yolly at Art Pamintuan at Cora Tellez. Maraming mga pagsubok sa kanilang mga buhay, pero sabi nga nila, never give up. At yan ang dahilan bakit sila ay nagtagumpay. And with that, we bring to a close another inspiring episode of Power ng Pinoy. Sana po ay nagbigay inspirasyon sila sa ating lahat. Join us again next week as we bring to you more stories from talented kababayans all across the globe. Meanwhile, come share your stories with us on Facebook. Tell us what inspires you or motivates you to reach for your own dream, because nothing is impossible in the land of the free as long as you plan ahead, pray hard, and work even harder. And if you do well, help others do well too. Dahil yan ang power ng Pinoy.
Sa puso, puhunay pawis at dugo, saan mang panig ng mundo, ang tanglahing Pilipino, ang power ng Pinoy, tumutulong sa mga kapatao, ang power ng Pinoy, lakas na galing.